Okay, baik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning or evening to you all. Okay, so hari ni kita akan masuk on our new chapter. Okay, chapter 3, electric charge and direct current. Okay, please bear in mind daripada chapter 3 up until chapter 6, there will be, this is what we call the big four lah, big four. Okay, so this fourth chapter will introduce partly about electricity, about magnets. Okay, how do we produce electricity from magnets and vice versa. Okay, but nak korang tahu, this is chapter 3, we learning about basically currents, direct current lah, basically how the current flows in our circuit. Okay, but chapter 4 nanti, just want you guys to remind you early, chapter 4 adalah chapter assignment lah. Assignment means that the chapter 4 won't be in you punya exam. Okay, it will be given an assignment lah for chapter 4, which is about magnetism. Okay, but itu nantilah, just nak bagi tahu awal. Okay, so to start off, we've learned basically in our school about currents, about voltage, potential, and also about resistor, circuit, series, parallel, etc. You learn sikit-sikit waktu kat sekolah. So dalam ni, we're going to go into all the more details. Okay, so siapa yang basically ada macam kegemaran ataupun berminat nak jadi electrical engineering, etc. So this is the chapter where you need to focus. This chapter and chapter 6, I think. Okay, so to start off, we're going to learn today about direct current. Okay, so there's two current types. There are alternating current and also direct current. Alternating current is at chapter 6. Direct current we'll be learning here. Direct current ni is just directly one-way current. Okay, so if you bawa bateri ke apa, you ada charge you bergerak from the positive part to the negative part. Okay, so that's direct current lah. Okay, so let's recap a bit on charge flow before we begin. Okay, so the first part we're going to learn is about electrical conduction. How do we conduct electricity? Okay, so if you ada here battery and you ada here load, the load basically a light bulb lah, light bulbs. Okay, light bulb. Okay, and bila you pasang the light bulb to a wire and also the wire to a battery, what would happen? Current would flow. Okay, the definition of a current flow is defined as the direction of from the positive terminal of a battery to the negative terminal of the battery. Okay, tapi sebenarnya what is happening when the current flow? Okay, so in a wire, okay, in a wire je, wire kosong kan, wire kosong, you have what you call free electrons tau dalam wire. Okay, so bila you ada what you call a wire, free electrons tu akan bergerak merata-rata lah. Okay, free electron. So bila you pasang je a battery, what does a battery do? A battery actually can produce what you call an electric field. Okay, so this is saya ambil just a part of the wire. Okay, so bila tak ada electric field, the electron moves, bergerak merata-rata. Okay, bergerak merata-rata. Okay, but when you pasang a battery, what will happen? It will create what we call a potential inside you punya circuit. When it creates a potential, maksud dia creates potential is basically creating an electric field inside the wire lah. This happens, okay, this pula menyebabkan electric field kita akan diproduce, and we know electric field akan bergerak from the positive part to the negative part lah. Okay, how, for example, macam kita belajar pada chapter pertama, how the positive starts and ends on the negative. Okay, so it will be produced there, and what would happen now? Okay, the electrons will be attracted to the positive part of the terminal, because the electron has a negative charge, it will be attracted to the positive terminal. So we define, ataupun zaman orang dulu define, is the current flow is from the positive to the negative terminal because of the production of electric field from our potential. Okay, and we know that electron will be attracted to the positive part. So macam you punya electric field bergerak macam ni. Okay, electric field bergerak macam ni, from positive to negative, but electron akan gerak from sebab electron negative, so dia akan gerak here. So we define as our current as something which is directed from the positive terminal to the negative terminal, but our electron is directed to the negative towards the positive. Basically electron yang negative dia akan pergi positif lah, tu je nak cakap. Okay, so what happens when you put a battery ataupun when you close the switch? Okay, the electric field will be produced and the electron will accelerate towards the positive terminal. Okay, so itu how current ataupun electricity is conducted lah. Okay, so let's see about this electricity conducted by seeing electric current. Okay, electric current. So what is electric current? Electric current is defined as the total charge flowing through the area per unit time. The area ni tak berapa penting. Okay, the area ni through the area ni tak berapa penting. Yang penting the total charge flowing per unit time. So the charge here, for example, in our example here is our electrons lah. So the number of electron flowing per unit time is what we define as current. So bila you buat eksperimen pertama atau kedua, bila we detecting the current, we're detecting the current per unit time. Give 1 second, berapa kita punya current yang diproduce. Okay, so the current I is defined as Q over A, the charge flowing per unit. Q over A pula. Saya pula termakan kata-kata ni. Okay, bukan Q over A, it's Q over T. The amount of charge flowing per unit time, and we define this as what you call the average current. Hopefully korang ingat ni, this is the definition of charge. Charge is defined as the number of integer times the electric charge. Okay, so charge kita boleh, let's say kalau bukan elektron kan, charge kita boleh jadi positif, negatif, positif, negatif, positif, negatif. It's defined as the number here, number inside here, okay, times dia punya electrical charge here lah, electrical number lah, electrical number. Okay, so that's charge. Okay, Q sama dengan NE. Okay, so for a current pula, it's that unit charge per time. Okay, per time. So I sama dengan Q over T is the number of charge times so you can actually what I call elaborate here into NE over T. So the number of charge times the electrical charge per unit time. Okay, so when you're doing calculation inside this chapter, the first part, please use this lah, use this and use this. However, itu dalam calculation, but we know electrons ni ada beratus ribu. Okay, there's so much electrons inside the wire. Okay, so we cannot actually quantify how many electrons ataupun how much time yang you ada. Okay, so to get an estimate, okay, we use the instantaneous. So instantaneous means that at that unit time, okay, contohnya at 2 seconds berapa, so we put as dq over dt, because we cannot actually count how many electrons are there, okay, in a wire lah, but we can with the help of an ammeter ke galvanometer ke, tu boleh lah, but secara rawaknya kita tak boleh. Okay, so instantaneously we write current I as dq over dt. Okay, so that's how electrical conduction happens. Basically current, itulah current. Okay, charge per unit time, and we define charge as the number of integer times dia punya electrical charge. Okay, so let's see a bit about the microscopic model of a current. Okay, yang saya cakap tentang pergerakan such as an air molecule, etc. So when you have a wire, okay, you can read about all of it here. So saya just explain balik lah. Okay, so when you have, for example, let's say here's a positive terminal, negative, positive, negative. Okay, so the negative here is connected to the negative part, and let's say ini switch kita. Okay, switch. Okay, situ. Okay, so when the switch is not on, bila kita tak on the switch, electron ni will flow secara random inside our wire. Okay, inside our wire, okay, elektron akan gerak merata-rata. Okay, macam air molecule lah. Kita pun tak tahu dia nak gerak mana. Okay, it's random motion. Okay, so it has random motion when there's no electric field ataupun when there's no potential difference applied to the circuit lah. Okay, but when you on the circuit here, when you on the circuit, what would happen again? Okay, the electrons akan ada sekarang ni akan ada what you call electric field lah, electric field E directed from the positive to the negative. So what would happen now is our electron akan bergerak in a motion yang static lah. There's a force applied to the electron now that forces the electron to gerak to the positive terminal of the battery lah. Okay, so dia akan, kalau electric field kita gerak macam ini, so electron movement will be opposed to the electric field. Okay, dia bergerak here with a velocity v. Okay, we write this velocity as what we call vd. Vd ni is what we call the drift velocity. Okay, so when the potential difference is applied across a metal, or for example our wire, for example, when the electric field is set up, the electric field exerts a force menyebabkan the electron to be attracted to the other plate lah. Okay, so electron negative will be attracted to the other plate which is positive. So now the electron akan bergerak with a constant velocity, where we call that as drift velocity. Okay, so the drift velocity is basically the velocity of the electron when you apply electrostatic force towards it lah, electrostatic force yang menyebabkan dia attracted to the positive plate. Okay, so that's drift velocity lah. Okay, so bila dia tak ada electric field ataupun when there's no potential applied, the electron will move in random motion. But when there's a when there's a presence of an electric field or a potential, the electron would bergerak in what we call drift velocity punya punya speed lah. Okay, so the flow of electron will persist. So kiranya elektron ni akan bergerak macam ni with the drift velocity as long as there is potential. Maksudnya selagi ada bateri ataupun you punya circuit ni, you punya switch is closed and menyebabkan the potential or the electric field will produce here. Okay, so the electron would move lah. So without the potential difference, no charge would flow because there's no electric field and no electric force produced. Therefore, no current is produced. So yang pentingnya in this perenggan is if ada bateri, electron flow. If tak ada bateri, electron tak flow. Itu je. Okay, so to recap again, the electron will flow bila you onkan you punya circuit, potential difference is applied dalam you punya circuit. Maksud potential difference ni apa? Potential difference tu itulah the difference between two potentials. So battery you tadi, you ada positive terminal and negative terminal kan. So usually it will bergerak. The potential difference from those battery is up. Bila saya kata the potential difference apply kan, so there's a potential here and there's a potential here, right? So let's say positive part ada 100, ini kosong, like to use this. Okay, so the potential difference ni menyebabkan there's a production of an electric field inside you punya wire. So this would produce this would cause you punya electron to move now to the positive plate lah. Okay, so no battery, no electric field, electron would move in random motion. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, so the second part we're going to learn is about Ohm's law. Hopefully korang pernah dengar lah this equation. Okay, V equal to IR. Okay, this equation V equal to IR. So what is it? So the definition of Ohm's law, actually sebenarnya Ohm's law ni adalah untuk mencari kita punya resistor R. Okay, so R is equal to V over I. So this is how we define Ohm's law. Tapi dari mananya datang Ohm's law ni? Okay, Ohm's law is actually datangnya daripada kita punya equation of V is directly proportional to I. But I'll go into more details after this. See Ohm's law ni. Just nak korang tahu about resistance. Okay, about resistance. So hopefully you learn a bit about resistance waktu sekolah. Okay, resistance is actually a scalar quantity. Okay, so it doesn't depend on direction. Okay, so bila you ada resistor ke apa, dia tak kisah direction mana dia datang, resistor dia is still the same. Okay, since V equals to IR and R equals to V over I, we can define as a resistance as actually a ratio of the potential difference V produced by the battery per current flowing through it. So contohnya kalau kita ada our resistor R here, okay, and current flow, contohnya let's say current flow here and I flow there, kita boleh define as the resistor R is the potential V here per unit current that is flowing through the resistor. Okay, so by its name pun resistor, its resistance tu, it resists current flow. So sesuatu objek yang ada resistance yang tinggi, okay, it says that dia punya R tu tinggi lah. So the resistance name came from kita nak basically prevent current from flowing. Okay, so the resistance will depends on actually four things. Okay, so the type of material made, contohnya let's say if you have aluminium compared to aluminium dengan kayu, the aluminium would actually cause you punya electrons to flow more better lah compared to the kayu. Okay, the length of the material, the cross sectional area, and the temperature. Okay, so the temperature saya akan tengok in our next class 3.3, but let's see here these three things. So the resistance depends on these three things. Okay, the type of material, the length, and also the area. Okay, but let's see macam mana area and length will affect our resistance. Okay, so bayangkan kita ada resistor yang rupa dia macam ni, Okay, rupa dia macam ni. So what would happen? Let's say electron flow macam ni kan, electron flow gitu, electron flow here. So what would happen if I were to increase the area of this resistor? Okay, dia jadi besar, katakan besar macam ni, besar macam tu, besar macam itu. What would happen now? Okay, more electrons can flow. Bila more electrons can flow, tak function lah resistor ni. So again, the resistor wants to resist the electrons flow. So resistor is actually inverse proportional to the area, because a higher or a larger area can make for more electrons to flow. So more electrons can flow if you have a larger area. Okay. What about for the length? Okay. So bila you ada length yang panjang, okay, from for example A to B lah kan, the electron would take more time compared to pendek. Okay, pendek, elektron akan ambil masa T yang sangat pendek compared to this one, T yang sangat panjang. So, when the electrons take longer to reach one place, we say that the resistance is quite high lah. Okay, so untuk wayar yang panjang, walaupun pergerakan elektron is very instantaneous tau, but you have a longer wire kan, dia akan menyebabkan the electron to take some time to get there lah, walaupun dia instantaneous. So, we call it as having a resistance yang okay lah. So the resistance is directly proportional to the length and inversely proportional to the area. Okay, so this is a directly proportional. Untuk dia jadi equal R kita mesti bubuh constant. The constant here is what we call rho. Ini adalah resistivity, which we will learn after this. Rho L over A. Okay, so the resistivity of a material is the ni lah. Okay, the type of material it emits. So contoh objek yang ada resistivity yang tinggi, kita katakan benda tu mampu menghalang current. Kalau sesuatu objek tu ada resistivity yang rendah, resistivity is a constant, kita kata sesuatu objek tu kurang lah untuk menghalang current ni. Okay, so that is all about resistance. So it depends on the length, the area, and the type, and also the temperature. But to get the temperature, we'll go into our next hour. Okay, jam seterusnya lah. Okay, so what about our Ohm's law? Okay, Ohm's law baru nak masuk. Okay, saya nak perkenalkan resistance dulu bila saya masuk Ohm's law. Again, what is Ohm's law? Okay, Ohm's law, which you will do the experiment dalam eksperimen kedua kita, is the potential difference across a conductor V is proportional to the current I flowing through it if its physical condition and temperature are constant. So basically V is directly proportional to I tu je. Ohm's law ni kata. So how do we get from directly proportional become equal? You bubuh constant kan? So the constant in the Ohm's law is actually V equal to Ri, ataupun yang kita selalu famous equal to V equal to IR lah. So the R here is a constant lah. So the constant number here, the resistance here, is how we equate our potential and our current. So again, using the same example as yang atas ni, you have a resistor kan, ataupun any load, tak kisahlah apa-apa macam kita punya lampu ke apa kita bubuh sini kan. So you punya current let's say flowing here. Okay, bila you punya current flowing here, it will use energy lah to gerak here and here. And when it uses energy, ini akan jadi, our load akan jadi a bit panas. Okay, so it is converting our electrical energy to the heat energy lah. Okay, so the current here is one that relates the potential difference of this point to this point, V, to the current flowing here. So V is equal to IR. The R here, okay, is the constant that relates the current flowing here and the potential moving in our loop. Okay, so that's our equation of Ohm's law lah, V equals IR. And if you do the graph of V equals to Ri, that's the original sebab asalnya is V is directly proportional to I. Okay, so if you do a graph of Y equal to Mx plus C, you can actually do a graph of V against I. Okay, so this is V against I. So when you do a graph of V against I, the gradient that you have here, ini gradient here will be equal to R. Okay, from kita punya equation here you can see lah. Okay, so the Ohm's law is actually used for how current is conducted lah. Okay, however, not all objects ataupun material or substance follows Ohm's law. Okay, Ohm's law is actually followed by basically what we call ohmic material lah, ohmic material. Okay, so ohmic material is basically benda yang boleh conduct electricity lah, such as metals, semi-metals, and benda-benda yang senang conduct electricity. We call that as ohmic material. Ohmic materials obeys Ohm's law, but you can expect the same thing to happen untuk benda yang bukan ohmic. Okay, so for example, yang saya nak explain this part lah. Okay, so material that do not obey Ohm's law adalah benda yang tak diperbuat daripada basically metal lah. Contohnya macam kayu, glass, tulang, what else? benda yang tak conduct electricity doesn't obey Ohm's law lah. So the Ohm's law is actually obeyed by material that have what we call ohmic punya substance, which is metal and etc lah. Okay, but benda yang tak ada tak menyebabkan you punya elektron to conduct smoothly adalah bukan ohmic punya material, so doesn't obey Ohm's law lah. Okay, so material that obeys Ohm's law are material that have basically constant resistance over a wide range of voltage. Okay, contohnya macam kita punya resistor ataupun metal lah. That's why kita punya material kat dalam lab, lots of them is made out of metal lah, ohmic material. Okay, dia pun sendiri ada resistance dia. Okay, so that's all about Ohm's law. Just now nak petik a bit about kita punya resistivity tadi. Okay, hopefully korang remember resistivity kita. Resistance is directly proportional to the length, inversely proportional to the area. You nak equate these two together. So R is equal to resistivity length per area. Okay, so saya nak cakap sikit lah. Resistance ni kalau kita nak cakap tentang suatu objek tu punya what I call value to resist a current. But we say resistivity, sekarang ni ada beza tentang resistance dan resistivity. Kalau saya kata tentang resistance of a material tu adalah 10 ohm. Okay, when the resistance of a material is 10 ohm, kita kata okay, the resistance is 10 ohm lah. But when I say the resistivity of a material is 10 ohms per meter, maksudnya apa? Okay, maksudnya resistivity of suatu objek tu dalam 1 meter adalah 10 ohm. So, kita cakap tentang length, resistance and length when we want to talk about resistivity. So, resistivity ni include the resistance and also the length of the object. Okay, so I can rearrange this equation and I can dapat resistivity I equal to RA over L. Okay, so what is resistivity? Resistivity is the resistance of a unit cross-sectional area per unit length of a material. Again, it's a scalar quantity and the SI unit adalah dalam ohms per meter. Okay, so tadi resistance unit dia adalah dalam ohm saja, tapi again, when we talk about resistivity, kita nak cakap tentang dalam satu unit of length, okay, ataupun area suatu objek, okay, berapakah dia punya resistance? Okay, so that's the difference between resistance and resistivity. Okay, so again, resistivity depends on basically our material. Okay, jenis material kita apa? As you can see here, okay, material yang ohmic, macam saya kata ohmic punya material, silver, copper, gold. Okay, this is what we call ohmic punya material. Dia ada resistance yang sangat rendah. So when you have lower resistance, lower resistivity sini lah, same thing. When you have lower resistivity ataupun resistance, the electron can flow easily, ataupun the current can flow easily. But when you have resistivity yang besar here, it means that dia adalah what I call insulator yang bagus lah. Okay, so resistivity atau resistivity yang tinggi menyebabkan current susah nak flow, resistivity yang rendah menyebabkan current yang senang flow. So apa yang saya cakap tu is here lah, this part. Okay, so a good electric conductor has a very low resistivity and a good insulator have very high resistivity. So resistivity depends on the type of the material and on the temperature. So this shows our resistivity lah. Okay, so that's basically that's all lah for this hour yang saya nak terangkan. So hopefully korang tahu how currents flow. Current flow, okay, we define the current flow as the charge per unit time. That's current lah. Okay, so Q over T, and we define the charge as the number of integer times the electrical charge, NE. We say our current flows from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. Okay, positive terminal, negative terminal, this okay menyebabkan ada potential dalam kita punya circuit. Okay, the production of the electric field by the battery menyebabkan our electron would flow opposite of the current. So, current tadi kita tengok kalau dia punya movement of electric field kat mana lah, positive, negative. But the electron would flow opposite of that from the negative to the positive part. Okay. So we use for calculation. Remember, for calculation you use the average current. For explanation you use the instantaneous lah. You kata yang current ni susah nak quantify kan selagi tak ada yang benda yang okey lah, such as an ammeter atau galvanometer. Then we learn about the microscopic model of current. Kita kata kalau tak ada battery atau tak ada switch yang on, okay, the electron won't flow lah. Okay, the electron will move in random motion. But bila you apply a battery ataupun you on the switch, when the potential is applied to you punya circuit and the electric field is produced, okay, the electron would move in what we call drift velocity. Okay, pergerakan dia, pergerakan scatter. Okay, a movement yang scatter macam ni lah, scatter macam ni, and VD ni is what we call the drift velocity, the VD, okay, VD, brief velocity. Okay. Lepas tu kita pergi about Ohm's law and we go about resistance. Okay, resistance depends on the area, the length, the temperature and also the type of material lah. But like I said, the temperature tu kita tengok on our next class, and we learn the difference between resistivity and resistance. Okay, resistivity kita kata kalau kita nak tengok resistance per unit length atau per unit area of per unit length ataupun area of a material tu lah. Okay, and we see here suatu objek yang macam metal ke atau ohmic punya material has a low resistivity, tapi benda yang non-ohmic punya material has high resistivity. Okay, so let's test kita punya understanding with doing our first two question. Okay, please note here question 3. Okay, dalam korang punya tutorial question 3 jangan buat selagi korang tak habis 3.5. The parallel and series punya part. Okay, selagi tak habis 3.5 jangan buatlah question 3 tu, nanti takut bila korang buat macam kenapa jawapan dia macam ni. Okay, so without the knowledge of 3.5 if you nak buat boleh je, tanyalah saya, but you need 3.5 to try to do the question 3. Okay, but never mind. So try to pause first for question 1 and 2. Okay, selepas habis pause I will try to do it together lah. Okay. Okay, so hopefully korang dah habis pause. So let's try to do our question number 1. Okay, so 1A, a current of 0.5 amps. Okay, so I yang sama dengan 0.5 amps flows in a circuit. How much charge passes through a point in a circuit in 2 minutes? So using our definition of current, which is charge per unit time, Q over T. So our charge here kita nak cari. So we can actually rearrange this as Q sama dengan IT. So what is I? Our current lah, which is 0.5, and time kita jangan pula korang masukkan 2 minit. Masukkan benda dalam SI dia, which is dalam second, which is 120 second. So 0.5 times 120 is basically 60 coulomb C. Okay, so that's for question A. Then soalan minta a polyester piece is rubbed with wool. Okay, it is found to acquire negative charge. So this is how you induce a charge lah. Kalau you ada benda yang rubbery ke apa, okay, you can rub it together to basically induce a charge here. Okay, doesn't recommend lah, sebab kalau contohnya korang ada floor mat yang dibuat daripada macam mana, floor mat yang nak cakap susah, kalau korang rubkan kaki korang, okay, kalau korang pakai baju yang latex ke ataupun rubbery, okay, kalau korang rub korang punya kaki dekat bawah lantai, dekat bawah mattress mat tu, you can actually induce charge flow lah, and you can actually transfer this charge to another person. Jangan buat tau, so quite sakit. Okay, we will see kenapa sakit. Okay, so there is negative charge of Q sama dengan 3 times 10 to the power negative. So dia nama je negative charge, but the negative charge here is dia tak berapa negatif here lah, tak apalah. So Q sama dengan 3 times 10 to the power negative 7. Okay, estimate the number of electron transferred to the polyester piece. So dia nak n, the number of electron. Okay, our number here lah. So Q equal to N E. Okay, so E ni is just a constant 1.6 times 10 to the power negative 19. Okay, so kita nak cari n, which is the number of electrons, okay, ataupun number of integer, number of sesuatu charge lah. Okay, again n ni is equal to Q over E. So our Q is 3.7 times 10 to the power negative 7. Our charge E, okay, E kita is basically 1.6 times 10 to the power negative 19. Okay, so we get the number of electrons here is 1.9 times 10 to the power 12 electrons. So electrons ni ada charge yang ini. Bayangkan, this number of electrons 1.9 times 10 to the power 12 ada charge ini sahaja, 3 times 10 to the power negative 7. Tak banyak, but well, there's a charge here lah. So bila you rub you punya kaki dekat floor mattress ni, bila you kena kawan you, pump the electrons yang ada ni will hit you punya person, and this all of electron has a charge of 3 times 10 to the power negative 7. Okay, bayangkan. Alright, so kita tengok for question number 2 pula lah. Okay, question number 2, the radius of a piece of 22 gauge tungsten wire is 0.321 mm. Okay, so dia bagi R kita sama dengan 0.321 times 10 to the power negative 3 meter, and dia bagi length dia sama dengan 1.00 meter, and the resistivity sama dengan 5.6 times 10 to the power negative 8 ohms per meter. Ohms per meter. Seminit lah, ada boleh. I go. Sini ada negatif 1. Patutlah saya pun terkejut. Okay, resistivity. Okay, so calculate the resistance of the wire. So again, resistance is equal to resistivity times the length per unit area. Okay, resistivity times the length per unit area. So resistivity dia berapa? Dia dah bagi situ 5.6 times 10 to the power negative 8. Okay, good conduction. Okay, basically an ohmic punya conduction lah. So the length here adalah berapa? Length dia 1 meter. The area here is, Allah dia tak bagilah area, but dia kata wire kan. So dalam chapter ni, the wire is so famous, dia punya area is pi r square. So it's pi 0.321 times 10 to the power negative 3 square. So dia dapat resistance here yang sepatutnya, okay, this is 5.6 lah sebenarnya. So dia punya resistance yang dia dapat sini, it should be 0.173 ohms. Okay, 0.173 ohms. Okay, so that's for question E. Okay, now soalan bagi, if the potential difference of 1.5 volts, so V sama dengan 1.5 volts, is maintained across the tungsten wire of length 1 meter. Okay, so what is the current of wire? Okay, simple enough, V equals to I R. So soalan minta current I is equal to V over R. Kita baru lepas cari resistivity of our tungsten wire, which is 0.173. So just 1.5 divided by 0.173. So you should get your value of 8.671 amps. Okay, so that's for question number 2. Okay, so hopefully you've learned a bit of introduction about kita punya circuit lah. Okay, so I hope to see you guys again. Lepas ni kita nak tengok pula how temperature affects our resistance. Very interesting topic, and kaitan banyak, kaitan tak adalah banyak, but kait dengan finals part dalam kita punya heat last semester. Okay, so try to have a bit read on that. But I'll see you guys again on our next hour. Bye.